That's a really loud car. He has a small penis.
We're back at the Barrel Social Club, where the slogan is built for poker. I saw that on the website, so I know it's true. Here I look down at a beautiful King Jack of Diamonds, and I make it $18 to go, slightly more than I would typically make it when I'm coming into the pot. However, there was an under-the-gun limp, so that forced me to put in just a little bit more to make people pay. Middle position player to my left makes the call. It's going to fold all the way down to the button. He's going to look down at his hand and decide it's worth a call. Gets back to the under-the-gun player. He comes along. We're going 4 ways to a flop. And like Little Wayne's teeth, that flop is all diamonds. I'm fortunate enough to flop the third nuts. Under-the-gun player checks. I need to throw out a bet for value, so I throw out a 1/3 pot-sized bet. It forces out the middle position player, but the button decides that he has a $25 hand, comes along. We get check raised by the under-the-gun player to $100, and that's going to be weighted towards sets and flushes. I only lose to one flush, the nut flush, but it is possible this opponent has it. Let's face it, this is not a 2 black card bluff. This is definitely for value. I think it's a large mistake to make this call, especially with a third person in the pot. I think it needs to be a raise. Unfortunately, I do make that call, and it does force out the button player. The turn card comes a King of Hearts, pairing my top card, which is irrelevant. I already have the third nuts, like I said. I find it incredibly humorous that the under-the-gun player checks. I can count on my hand one time. I believe that I've been double check raised. And here I get snap double check raised. My $200 gets shoved up my butt to $500 almost immediately. How can this man not have the nut flush or the 7-8 of diamonds? How can he not? I must fold. Then I remembered I'm playing 1-3 no limit hold'em, and I'm not folding a flush. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not folding a flush. I'm not folding this flush. Some flushes I would fold. I'm not a mentally unsmart person. I'm going to play different flushes differently. But you're probably looking at this like, why has he not called this all in? Well, the thing is, he doesn't know that his 500 didn't cover me. He's not like tanking with whatever he has. He just didn't know. He calls, obviously. River card's a deuce of diamonds. That doesn't actually scare me. I don't think he has I don't know what just ace of diamonds he could have. He does have that set that we talked about earlier, and I'm going to win a nice pot. Almost $1,400 in that pot. I'm very happy to win it. Because like I said, I could have been up against the ace-high flush that whole time. Luckily, I was not. Moving right along, the under-the-gun +1 player limps. The middle position player, the fella we beat in the hand previous, makes it $15 to go. I have this hand ace-5 of clubs that pros and solvers and people that look at solvers have on a pedestal. I don't know I guess because it can play well high and low and make flushes. I don't know. I just know that I 3-bet this fella because I want to play a bloated pot in position against him again, and I believe they call that isolation. Like a college brochure, the flop has a little bit of everything in it. Top pair for me, backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and this man's unending string of weird lines continue as he fires out $40 into the pre-flop 3-better. I go ahead and make the call. I'm not going anywhere with my top pair, and that backdoor flush draw does materialize. Now he goes ahead and checks his hand. I'm not going to check behind. I'm going to go ahead and bet for value, although I can say it would be a shame if I get blown off of his hand, but I don't think I can. I think my hand can withstand a raise even if he does go for his third check raise in 2 hands. He doesn't, however. He decides to find the fold button instead, and that's fine with me, and I'll take down another pot versus this player, and we'll move on to another hand.
got a sitter until like sometime tomorrow, which is kind of cool. It's my boy's third birthday today, and we took him out. We had a whole day. We kind of had a day where we did a thing where we just said yes, whatever they wanted. So today they wanted to go swimming, so we started out with swimming. Then we got breakfast. They wanted like bacon, pancakes, waffle, all kinds of stuff. Spent like $75 on breakfast, no big deal. They wanted to go jumping at the stupid dinosaur place where I know I got like COVID and the flu at the same time. It was just kids and balls, like not balls like testicles, but like balls like those little balls that ball pits have, you know, like slobber everywhere. So I just know I got COVID, flu, and meringue and that.
They say limping is contagious, and this hand will prove that. As you see the under the gun one, middle, low jack, they all limp. I look down at a King 10 offsuit. It's not a very good hand. In my circle, we call it the Don Smith, as we got a guy in our group named Don Smith who never folds that hand. That's neither here nor there. I don't really want people to call. This is a bluff. I just want to take it down. I'm trying to just steal that money, but it's not working out as we're getting lots of callers. You see my buddy Andrew there in the cutoff. He immediately called the bet. We actually had a spirited conversation about me and my buddy Kent about how many koala bears that we could fend off had we been in a situation in which we would have to fend off koala bears. I think the number got up to 16. Anyways, I flopped top pair in this situation. I didn't raise pre-flop with King 10 offsuit to flop top pair and check, so I go ahead and bet $60 when checked too. Andrew, of course, comes along. He's not going to be scared of that board, and he can have like any two. There's not a card in that deck other than the two that are in my hand, the three on the board, that he can't have in his hand. That's how wide open his range is. The middle position player is the only one we lose, and we go three ways to the turn, which is a deuce of diamonds, which is not very good for me because I don't have a diamond, and it's even worse because the under the gun player, he just goes all in. Just shoves his entire stack in there for $127, and I don't have a lot of reasons to call here. I got a player behind me. I don't have that great of a hand, King 10, especially when there's three diamonds on the board. But I don't look for reasons to fold. I look for reasons to call, and I have two pair now. So I go ahead and stick it in. I call. That's what I stick it in. That's what I meant by stick it in, as I call. Andrew gets out of the way, which is to be expected. And the river card comes down a deuce of spades. So now I have a full house, and I like full houses. And look at that. I was in big trouble because the under the gun player had the ace kicker. So we're going to chop this pot. And they say chopping pots is like kissing your sister, but in this case, I wasn't supposed to get any of this pot. So I must have a pretty hot sister. Speaking of really hot sisters, in this hand, I look down at the ace-9 of spades. That's my 11th favorite hand after aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s, ace-king, and jack-10 suited. Here I make it $15 after the under the gun player limps. Then I get 3-bet to $45 from the big blind. What's funny about the big blind is he's wearing that shirt, and there's another person in the room wearing that exact same shirt, and you might see that later. A lot of good things can happen with the ace-9 suited. I can make a lot of money when I make like a flush because I'll have the nut flush or a two pair. I won't make a lot of money on jack 6-3 rainbow, however. He bets $50, and like I told you earlier, I look for reasons to call. Backdoor flush draw is good enough for me. So I put in the call, we go to the turn, it's an ace, and now that's a good turn card. It'd be very hard for him to put me on an ace. My most likely range of hands is going to have a jack, like queen jack, king jack, things like that, maybe 4-5 suited, are hands that would have maybe called his $50 bet, but not a lot of aces. He puts in 80, I make the call. We go to the river card, it's the 9 of diamonds. Now, it's going to be super incredibly difficult for him to put me on my exact hand because I should not have ace-9. The only way I can have ace-9 is if I had just the naked flush draw, or backdoor flush draw, and called it on the flop like I did. It's very hard for him to put me on this hand. He bets $80 again, and I do what I like to call
going for the gold. It's a term that I have coined where I put in a large amount of money. When I do this, I usually have a really good hand. Not always, but usually. And in this case, I have what I would imagine to be the nuts, and he goes into the tank.
Rude. That's a rough name, rude. That I can roast, because that's like, it's like nasty. It's like instead of rude, or I don't know, arrogant. No, nobody would be named that, but rude. You kept that name. Mine was Saget. I didn't change it. And elementary school, it rhymes with stuff. I had a rough go. Anyway, that's my life.
Rest in peace, Bob, but thanks for entertaining the viewers as the big blind thought about what to do, but he eventually folded. This may come to a surprise to everybody, but I do not play every hand perfectly. That's right. Heard it here first. This is one of those hands. I make it $15 to go. If you remember from the hand before, I named my 11 favorite hands, and this hand was on that was number 1. A player who shall remain nameless. His name is Mike. He makes it $50 to go from the small blind. And then a player who actually will remain nameless, because I don't know who it is, calls the bet. Now, I don't do anything wrong here. Sort of. I need to raise. We know that. It's the sizing. What sizing would you guys go with? Because I went with $1,171. That may be different than what you would have chose. And I had an idea, because this guy, Mike, down there that you can't see, he never stops talking. And I thought, for whatever reason, a man who never stops talking is a man who never stops calling. And I don't know why in the world I thought that, because he just put in $50. He's not going to call. I can't explain this. I can explain it. I just can't justify it. And he goes in the tank for a very long time. He's telling all the tables around him, this man, he bet $1,171. I only bet 50. He made it 1171. Like he's standing up telling everybody, nobody cares.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here. See, nobody cares.
And I just kept telling him I had pocket jacks and I didn't know what to do. And he was like, "Oh, you don't have pocket jacks," and he was right. I don't have pocket jacks. But that's what I kept saying. I have pocket jacks, man. I don't know what to do. But anyway, of course, his cards found the muck, because they have to find the muck. And the hijack, he was just kind of caught in the middle. He folds too, and I probably lost value there. But it was still a fun hand, so I don't mind. But it was also stupid. So a person may limp due to various factors, including pain, weakness, neuromuscular issues, or structural abnormalities. Common causes include injuries, arthritis, or even developmental problems. At the barrel, they usually just have a bad hand. When I have a bad hand, I just choose to raise it up. I feel like it's unfair to call 8-10 of clubs a bad hand, but I'm on the button with it. I put in 4 red chips, which is $20, get a call from the big blind. And I got 3 other limpers I got to fight through. The under the gun, the middle position player both call, and of course the low jack call. So that raise did absolutely nothing but build a pot when I don't have a very good hand. The only saving grace is that I do have position. The flop is Jack 5 ace, so I whiffed. As usual, I do have a backdoor flush draw though, and that's just gonna have to work. Checks to me on the button, and that backdoor flush draw materializes. Hey, I just realized I had a backdoor straight draw as well, and I hit that too. I made it $50 to go, hoping to get the riff-raff here. That's what I call my opponents, riff-raff. Hoping to get them to just fold. Oh, and if you don't know, that money you see on the button there, that is dealer tip money. We every time the button passes you have the option to put $1 on there or not. And if the button wins the pot, the dealer gets that money. It's a little bit, a cool thing we do for the dealers. I miss everything. No, that's not true. I made a pair, but that's not going to be good. But I have a pair of 8s now. The middle position player is thinking on what to do. And what I think is going through his head is, how can I steal this pot for as cheaply as possible? And, well, he does. He does it. He bets $10 into 200.
So I just make it 300, which covers him, and he snap folds, which is good because I didn't really have a hand.
All right, that's the ball game. In for 500, out for 1305, so that's plus 805. Sorry, I gotta put Grace a sandwich. I'm not eating the bag, not that hungry. In the microwave. Why don't you put a chicken sandwich in the microwave for? I'm gonna put it for a minute. Nuke it. This sandwich is like on fire. That's it for this episode. If you like what you guys see, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, share, pray, do all the good stuff, and I will see you in a week. Hey, Ian, Theo, can you hold the phone just like this? Okay, don't let go of the phone. Hold it just like that, okay?
I can't see the people right here.
Okay, are you holding on? Wait, hold on to the phone. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.